What if I told you, the life you're living right now is the price of the decisions you avoided years ago? Every late night you skipped, every excuse you made, every time you chose comfort over discipline. See, most people don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they want easy now. But here's the brutal truth Gina Rinehart understood early. If you don't choose hard today, life will choose hard for you tomorrow. And tomorrow doesn't ask permission.
Gina Rinehart didn't inherit an easy life. She inherited pressure, debt, and doubt. People love to say, "Oh, she was born rich." What they don't tell you is that when she took over her father's mining company, it was drowning. Banks were knocking. Employees were skeptical. The industry was collapsing. She had two choices: make life easy now, or work when it was brutally hard so life could be easier later. She chose hard. Here's the mistake most people make. They think hard work is punishment. But hard work is actually payment in advance. You either pay now with long hours, discipline, sacrifice, boredom, repetition, or you pay later with stress, regret, financial fear, dependence, missed potential. There is no free life, only prepaid lives, and debt-filled ones. Gina Rinehart worked through market crashes, public criticism, legal battles, years where quitting would have been easier. Why? Because she understood something most people don't. While others complained about the economy, she studied it. While others waited for motivation, she built systems. While others wanted balance, she chose focus. She didn't ask, "Is this comfortable?" She asked, "Will this make tomorrow easier?" And slowly, quietly, the results stacked up. Not overnight, not viral, not flashy, but permanent. That's how empires are built. Not with motivation, but with unseen consistency. Let's bring this to you. Right now, there's something you're avoiding. Studying, starting the business, going to the gym, learning a skill, fixing your finances. You already know what it is. And your mind keeps saying, "I'll do it later." But later is a lie. Later becomes next year. Next year becomes regret. The pain you're avoiding today is the pain you'll multiply tomorrow. Hard now is temporary. Hard later is permanent. In the early years, no one applauded her. There were no headlines, no motivation quotes, no guarantees. Just a woman sitting with numbers that didn't work, debts that didn't wait, and an industry that didn't care. Walking away would have been easier. Delegating would have been comfortable. But comfort wasn't an option. Because she understood something early, if you don't choose hard when you're able, life will force hard when you're not. Gina Rinehart stepped into her father's mining business at a time when most people would have stepped back. The company wasn't thriving. It was fragile. Costs were high. Trust was low. The future was uncertain. People assume inheritance means ease, but sometimes it just means responsibility arrives early. Instead of preserving comfort, she focused on survival. She learned the business from the ground up. She studied contracts, operations, and markets. She worked long hours when there was no reward in sight. Not because she enjoyed it, but because delaying the work would only delay the outcome. The mining industry is unforgiving. Prices fall. Public opinion shifts. Governments interfere. Critics grow louder. There were years when progress was invisible. Years when the effort outweighed the results. This is where most people quit. Not because they can't handle hard work, but because they can't handle uncertain hard work. Gina stayed. She reinvested. She renegotiated. She made decisions that were unpopular but necessary. Hard work didn't make life easy immediately. It made life possible later. Then something quiet happened. The work began to stack. The systems held. The risks paid off. What looked like overnight success was actually decades of pressure absorbed early. By the time life became easier, the hardest work was already done. That's the part people miss. Ease isn't a gift. It's a delayed return. Gina Rinehart's story isn't about wealth. It's about timing. She chose struggle when she had energy. She chose responsibility before comfort. She chose discipline when excuses were available. Most people reverse that order. They choose ease first, then wonder why life never softens. The truth is simple and uncomfortable. Life doesn't become easy because you want it to. It becomes easier because you paid the price early. And whether you pay now or later, in the beginning, nothing about her life looked easy. No applause, no certainty. Just responsibility arriving earlier than expected. She could have waited, she could have stepped back, but she understood something most people learn too late. If you avoid hard when you're capable, life will demand it when you're not. In the beginning, Nothing about her life looked easy. No applause, no certainty. Just responsibility arriving earlier than expected. She could have waited, she could have stepped back, but she understood something most people learn too late. If you avoid hard when you're capable, life will demand it when you're not. Mining doesn't forgive mistakes. Markets fall. Governments intervene. Criticism grows louder. There were years when progress was invisible. Years where effort came without reassurance. This is where most people stop, not because the work is hard, but because the reward is delayed. She stayed. She renegotiated deals. She reinvested when fear was popular. She made decisions that protected the future, not comfort. Hard work didn't make life easy. It made survival possible. Over time, the pressure paid off. Systems held. Risks aligned. The work stacked quietly. What looked like sudden success was years of effort absorbed early. By the time life eased, the hardest part was already behind her. Ease didn't arrive as luck. It arrived as return. Gina Rinehart's story isn't about money. It's about order. She chose hard before ease, responsibility before comfort, discipline before permission. Most people reverse that order and spend their lives waiting for relief. The truth is simple. You either work when it's hard, or life stays hard when it matters most. And in the end, the bill always comes due.